Neil deGrasse Tyson is really into space stuff, and he says the Voyager probe found something in the last 10 years that has him and other scientists super puzzled and a bit bummed out. The probe sent back some weird info from way out there, which has got everyone on edge. Scientists are putting their usual work aside to check out these strange objects Voyager spotted. Nobody knows where they came from or where they're going, but we've definitely never seen anything like them. So, what are these odd things Pioneer 1 found? Tyson's talking about how Pioneer 1 found like 500 dark things zooming around in space. Voyager 1 has been out there for about 50 years, going where our telescopes can't, and it keeps sending back crazy stuff that blows our minds. It's like Voyager 1 is at the heart of these new areas in space, showing us all this cool stuff we never knew existed. Recently, Tyson said that Pioneer detected 500 dark objects just floating around out there. This totally surprised scientists, and now they're all trying to figure out what's going on. Something strange is up, and the experts are scratching their heads. People have different ideas about what it could be. If another rocket had found the stuff, people might not believe it. But this is Pioneer 1, a probe that's been exploring space for almost 50 years and doing way better than we thought it would. It's like a patient who got better after being super sick. Voyager 1 was only supposed to last 3 years, but it's been out there for over 45, making awesome discoveries. What's really cool is that Pioneer is sharing this amazing trip from billions of miles away. Last time anyone checked, Voyager was about 14.5 billion miles from Earth, still going strong. They are saying that the probe is traveling at a speed that covers the distance between the Earth and the Sun many times each year. Now one would expect the probe speed would have decreased after decades in space. It seems that Voyager 1 is different, and what it's been finding lately proves it. Scientists were just doing their thing when Voyager sent back some news that everyone's going to remember. The probe just happened to come across some weird objects flying through space. It was a total shock, and at first, the space experts were like, what the heck? When they saw the data showing 500 dark objects that seemed to pop up out of nowhere. We went from not knowing anything about these things to scientists racing to solve this natural puzzle. The scientists didn't know what to do, and they were blaming Pioneer 1. Suddenly, everyone realized that it was up to the space probe to find the answers. When the news first came out, some scientists thought it might be a mistake. They figured Voyager might have messed up and sent back the wrong info. It makes sense, since Voyager 1 was launched way back in 1977. After almost 50 years of working for us, you'd think the probe's computers would be worn out and acting up, sending back bad info. But even though it's a good idea, scientists are saying not to jump to conclusions because that would make the probe look bad. Even though space is rough, Voyager 1 has always sent back good info about our universe, proving the doubters wrong. The probe has lasted so long because it has two of everything. Like its twin, Voyager 2, Voyager 1 has two sets of command, data, and control systems. That's why it's been able to keep exploring and making discoveries for so long. The extra systems let them switch between parts and use different computer parts, which made them last longer. When they made Voyager 1, the engineers wanted to make it as good as possible. That meant the instruments had to be simple because they didn't have much time or power. The electrical engineers decided to use simple systems based on hardware logic. So, Voyager's computers have power management with 6 computers that work together in pairs. After they figured that out, the next thing was to keep the systems running. They did this by making a power plan. This whole power thing meant helping the computer systems work. It was hard because the spacecraft didn't have much power. But the experts came up with a way to watch and use power wisely. For example, they would shut down systems that weren't needed. The researchers had to make some tough choices and carefully turn off parts that weren't important for the probe's main job. This is what happened with the radiators that kept some instruments at the right temperature. They only turned them on when they had to, which saved a lot of power. Using less power has a big impact. It makes the probe last longer. It's a win-win. Now, turning off those systems wasn't a simple thing. They really had to think about what they were giving up to save power and still get good information. Everyone had to work together to see how turning off certain systems would affect the data. They put aside their feelings and just looked at the facts. The team wanted to use power as best as they could while still getting important data about the universe. The engineers and scientists didn't want anything to stop Voyager 1 from finding the secrets hidden way out in space, secrets that the universe has been keeping for years. Also, using less power isn't the only thing the NASA people are doing to keep Voyager going. They also had another trick up their sleeves. The team made plans to handle power that changed with the probe's environment. For example, as Voyager 1 goes further from the sun, it gets less solar energy. That's a problem, but they were ready for it. They made sure the spacecraft used less energy to make up for the loss. This helps the NASA people because it makes sure the probe has enough power for its main jobs and sending data back to Earth. And there's more good news. The engineers have been making the power system better over the years. These improvements include better power use, better battery charging, and better control. The careful planning has let Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 keep exploring. The announcement made waves in the science world. Tyson's announcement was heard everywhere, and it showed that Voyager 1 had been studying space for 10 years. The probe had found something odd, 500 mysterious objects moving silently. This discovery made scientists go wild. Researchers all over the world started working together to figure out what these things are, where they came from, and what they're doing. Voyager 1's discovery is a new chapter in space travel, challenging old ideas and making people think about new ones. Studying the data will help us understand more. It could even teach us new things about the universe. As we keep looking into this mystery, we want to find out the truth about these dark objects and what they mean for how we see space. Now, as the researchers look closer at the 500 dark objects Voyager 1 found, they're exploring even more. The first info from the probe has already led to some cool theories. One idea is that these objects are leftovers from old space events, like pieces of exploded stars or broken asteroids. Or, they could be made of stuff we don't even know about that point to new kinds of matter or physics. Physicists are using computers to guess where these objects came from by looking at how they move. Researchers want to know if they all came from the same place or from different events. All of this is important for seeing the bigger picture and learning about space cycles or events we didn't know about. Observatories everywhere are helping to track these objects. Big telescopes on Earth are being used to check the info from Voyager 1 and get a better look at what these objects are like. They're taking high-quality pictures and studying the light from them to find out what they're made of. Besides looking at them, theoretical physicists are thinking about how these discoveries might change what we know about physics. If the objects act strangely with gravity or electricity, it could teach us about dark matter or dark energy. That kind of stuff could change how we understand the universe. This discovery has also brought different experts together. Space experts, math people, and even material science experts are all helping to solve the mystery. By working together, they can get a better understanding of everything. Schools are even using this mystery in their programs to get kids interested in science. People are really excited about space exploration again and are following the story closely. This new interest has led to more money for space missions. The mystery is a big deal and everyone's excited about it. Plus, this discovery could have uses outside of science. If these objects have special properties, they could be used in tech. If they're made of super strong stuff, they could be used in new kinds of manufacturing. Even though they're excited, scientists are being careful. They're checking the data from Voyager 1 closely to make sure there aren't any mistakes. They're also having other scientists review their work to make sure everything is correct. Basically, Voyager 1's discovery has opened up a new world in space exploration. Studying these mystery objects could change what we know about the universe. The fact that scientists are working together shows how important this is. As we wait for more news, there's a lot of excitement about what we might learn about the secrets of the universe. Scientists were stuck, and they blamed Pioneer 1. Now, everyone's counting on the space probe to find answers. When this news first came out, some scientists wondered if it was a mistake. Maybe Voyager messed up and sent back the wrong data. It makes sense if you think about it, since Voyager 1 launched way back in 1977. Almost 50 years of work for us could mean the probe's computers are wearing out and sending back junk info. It's an interesting idea, but scientists say we shouldn't jump to conclusions because it would downplay what the probe has done. Even though space is rough, Voyager 1 has been sending back good info about the universe, proving the doubters wrong. The probe has lasted this long because it has two of everything. Voyager 1, just like its sibling, Voyager 2, has two command systems, data systems, and control systems. When they built Voyager 1, the engineers wanted to make it as efficient as possible. The probe's instruments had to be simple because of time and power limits. The electrical engineers figured the instruments should use simple systems based on hardware logic. So, Voyager's computers have power management with 6 computers that work together in pairs. After that, the next issue was keeping the systems running. The scientists made a power management plan. Power management involved keeping Voyager's computers running. That was hard because there's only so much power on the spacecraft. The experts came up with a plan to watch and make the most of the power. One thing they did was shut down systems that weren't needed. The researchers had a tough call to make and took a careful approach to turn off parts that weren't vital for the probe's main goals. This happened with the radiators that kept some instruments at the right temperature. They only turned them on when they had to save a lot of energy. That saves energy and helps the probe last longer. It's a win-win. It's important to know that they didn't just turn off stuff without thinking about it. They had to figure out if saving energy was worth losing some of the spacecraft's science goals. Everyone had to work together to decide if turning off certain systems would mess up the quality of the data. They pushed feelings aside. It was just about the facts. The team wanted to save power but still get important data about the universe. The engineers and scientists said that nothing should stop Voyager 1 from finding the secrets hidden in space. Secrets that the universe has been holding onto for a long time. Cutting back on power isn't the only thing NASA is doing to keep Voyager going. They had other tricks up their sleeves too. The team came up with energy plans that shifted with the probe's conditions. As Voyager 1 gets further from the sun, there's less sunlight. The experts were ready for this. They made sure the spacecraft changed how much power it used to make up for it. This helps NASA because it makes sure the probe uses its energy well to do its main jobs and send data back home. And there's more good news. The engineers have made the power system better over the years. It has more efficient power, better batteries, and is better at controlling energy. All of this careful planning has helped Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 keep exploring the universe. The announcement made waves in the world of science. Neil deGrasse Tyson's announcement was huge, saying that Voyager 1 had been looking around in space for a decade. The probe had stumbled on something weird. 500 mystery objects, with no one knowing where they came from or what they're doing, just floating there. This got scientists really curious. Scientists from all over started working together to figure out these objects. Voyager 1's discovery started a new chapter in exploring space and is making us rethink our ideas about space. Looking at the data should help us understand things better and maybe learn new stuff about the universe. As we dig deeper, the goal is still to find out the truth about these dark objects and what they mean for how we see space. Now that researchers are taking a closer look at the 500 dark objects Voyager 1 found, there's more to explore. The info that the probe sent back has already sparked some interesting theories. One idea is that these objects are leftovers from old space events, like exploded stars or broken asteroids. Or, they could be made of stuff we don't even know about, which could mean new forms of matter or physics. Physicists are using fancy computer models to guess where these objects came from by looking at how they move. The researchers intend to find out if they all came from the same place or from different events. This is important for understanding if there are cosmic cycles or space interactions we didn't know about. Observatories all over the world are helping to track these objects. Ground telescopes are checking and adding to the info from Voyager 1 to get a better view of what they're like. They're also using detailed images and checking what they're made of to learn more. Theoretical physicists are checking out how these finds could change what we know about physics. If the objects mess with gravity or electricity in weird ways, it could give hints about dark matter or dark energy. This could totally change how we see the universe's big mysteries. The discovery has also gotten people from different fields working together. People who study space, math, and even materials are helping to solve the mystery of these things. This helps everyone understand the data better and makes sure everything is explored. Schools and research places are using this new find in their programs to get the next generation excited about science. Everyone's interested in space, and that's lead to more money and support for space missions. The discovery means more than just science too. If these objects have special properties, they could be used in technology in the future. If the objects contain new materials that are super strong, they could be used to make new tech. As the research goes on, scientists are staying careful but positive. They're checking the data from Voyager 1 closely to rule out any mistakes. Other experts are checking the results to make sure they're solid. Basically, the discovery of 500 dark objects by Voyager 1 has opened a new area in space exploration. The work is likely to improve our knowledge of the universe, test existing theories, and maybe uncover brand new discoveries.